In a quiet valley hidden by the morning mist, there lived a monk who was neither the wisest nor the fastest learner in the monastery. Yet, he was the one everyone spoke of. Because for 30 years, he never missed a single dawn. Rain, snow, fever, even heartbreak, every day, at the same hour, he would rise before the first light a candle, and walk down to the river to meditate. People called him the monk who never missed a day. But few knew the story behind his quiet devotion, and the pain that built it. Many years ago, when he first arrived at the monastery, he was not the disciplined soul the villagers remember. He was restless, a young man searching for meaning in a world that rewarded only noise. He came to the temple believing Zen was about peace. But peace didn't come. Silence made him face his chaos. Stillness showed him his impatience. Meditation felt like torture. He wanted to quit. Every single day. One morning, after another failed attempt to sit still, he approached the old master and said, "Master, my mind will never be still. I don't have the discipline for this path." The old master looked at him with kind eyes and said, "Then don't aim for peace. Aim for presence. Peace will follow, one consistent breath at a time." From that day, he made a quiet promise. To show up every morning, before the sun, no matter how chaotic the mind, no matter how heavy the heart. At first, it was painful. His legs hurt. His mind screamed. But he stayed. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into seasons. And one day, he noticed something subtle. The river he sat beside every morning had changed. The water that once roared loudly in spring now whispered calmly in summer. The current changed, yet it kept flowing. And in that river, he saw himself. Consistency wasn't about staying the same. It was about flowing, without quitting. Years passed. Travelers began visiting the monastery to seek wisdom. They'd ask the monk, "Tell us, what is the secret of success, of peace, of enlightenment?" He would simply smile and say, "Show up. Every day." Some would laugh. "Is that all?" they'd say. He'd nod, "That's everything." One young traveler once challenged him, "But how can I stay consistent when I see no results?" The monk led him to the same river and said, "Look at the stone beneath the water. Do you see how smooth it is?" The traveler nodded. The monk continued, "That stone wasn't shaped by a single splash, but by the persistence of every drop. You cannot see progress every day, but every day, progress sees you." Decades passed. The young man grew old. He still walked the same path to the river each dawn. But now, his steps were slower, his breath deeper. One morning, a new novice asked him, "Master, after all these years, what did you gain from this discipline?" The monk smiled softly and said, "Nothing that can be shown. But everything that can be felt." The novice looked puzzled, so the monk continued, "When I began, I wanted to conquer my mind. Now, I just walk beside it. When I began, I wanted peace. Now, I realize peace was waiting for me every morning. I just had to keep showing up." Today, we live in a world that worships speed, fast results, fast fame, fast success. But the river of life doesn't rush, it flows. Consistency is not perfection. It's devotion. It's showing up when you don't feel ready. It's moving forward even when no one claps. In a noisy world, the consistent soul becomes unshakable. Because one day, while everyone else is chasing moments, you will realize that your power was built in the quiet hours, when you refuse to quit. So if you ever feel lost, remember the monk by the river. He wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the strongest, but he was there, every morning. And sometimes, that's all it takes to reach enlightenment. If this story touched your mind, and reminded you to stay consistent, then remember, wisdom grows in repetition. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that awaken your inner stillness. Because this is not just philosophy, it's the path that never ends.